Seems to miss the big guess. I don't know what his deal is. He's so excited Coach is here, ran off. Anyway, we have to move on. I'm always excited to have my next guest on our show. He finished his first year as Marshall men's head basketball coach with a 22-12 record. This year he's off to a 5-0 start, including an impressive overtime win at Cincinnati. Please welcome back to Up Late, Coach Tom Herrion. Thank you, Coach, for coming on the show. Have a seat up here. Have a seat.
Appreciate it.
Oh, my goodness.
Good to be back.
You know I love you. And you know everyone at home loves you. No, we're not like that, but I'm saying everyone loves you, Coach.
You know.
Thank you for coming back on this show.
Appreciate it. I'm glad to have you. Most people don't have me back.
I don't believe that at all. Well, listen, here's the deal. Kyle's excited that you're here. However, he ran away.
That's fine.
Katie Farrell, come on over, Katie. This is our doorkeeper. There she comes. Katie, when we told Katie that you were going to be on the show, do you know what she said?
What was that?
Let us know. What did you say?
Well, I just got really excited, and I said, I want you to know my name by the time you leave here today.
Coach Katie, Katie Coach. There we go.
Yeah, Katie.
Nice to see you. Thank
There
you,
you go.
Katie. I appreciate your kind words.
She actually had lunch at Harless the day before, and she was so excited. She said, "Oh, Coach is here. He just said he was eating lunch with one of the players," and she loves you like everybody else.
Well,
I got to get that out of the way.
Well, I appreciate everybody's support, and it's nice to have. We have got great student support, including fine students like Katie. So
knows your name, Katie.
Knows my name.
There you go. Mission
I've got a good
accomplished.
memory. I usually don't forget many things. So.
Excellent. Well, let's clear something up at the very start. I said you were off to a 5-0 start. We shoot this show Tuesday. You had a game with Ohio Wednesday. This show airs Saturday. So can we go ahead and say you're 6-0? No, Coach, I'm not going to do that, is it?
No, we got a big task ahead with the Ohio game, and hopefully on Saturday we are 6-0.
There you go. Excellent. So let's talk about that. Besides the Ohio game, you are off to an unbelievable, impressive start.
Well, we are. It's obviously I think it's a credit to our players and our staff. We've been challenged out of the gates. We've played really good competition. We've been on the road twice. Winning down at Wilmington, which is a tough challenge, and then obviously, as you mentioned, the win on Friday night up in Cincinnati against a very good Bearcat team. So, but you have to keep things in perspective. One thing you have to remember is we haven't even hit December yet. So there's such a long part of our season. There's going to be some peaks and some valleys. We obviously want to keep as many peaks and high moments as possible, but we're in for a long journey throughout the course of this season.
But your team's ready for it, right? I mean, your practice is intense.
Yeah.
The prior games you've had, you've really got the team prepared. One thing that I noticed is, and I told you this before, Coach makes the best decisions during the game. You sub so many players and they make the right decisions. Like the Cincinnati game, I mean, you were just on the point, and I think that's why we won the game. It's because of you.
No. The players make plays. One thing about being a coach is you make so many decisions, and hopefully you make a lot of right decisions. But that's what it's one of the big things that a coach does. And I think this group has shown a level of maturity and growth in year 2 of our process here of building and restoring the program. And I think it's a testament to their maturity, some leadership by our 3 seniors. So a lot of really good things, but again, we have to keep things in perspective that we can't live on memories. I think our community embraced the whole aspect of the hype or the rankings and all of that. Yet I don't think our kids have drank that Kool-Aid too much. I think they believe that we have to keep getting better via practice and obviously accepting each challenge as it comes, starting with Ohio this week.
And that's what you've said during your post-game press conferences, which I try to get to as much as I can. If you can't watch them or you can't get them, you can watch them online. Chuck McGill with the Daily Mail does a great job of videotaping your press conference. And that's what you said. I think it was the second game. You said, guys, we're not that good. You're the ones who are writing that we're that good. My kids know we're not that good, like you just said.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, the proverbial hype or anticipation for this season was in June, July, and August, through the so-called experts and magazines. And, I've been doing this long enough. I've been doing this longer than my kids have been alive. My players have been alive. And
is that bad?
No, I mean, I'm getting old.
Okay,
I know that.
Right. I just want to make
it's like
sure.
dog years. You know what I mean? So, but we just kept hammering home that we haven't done anything yet. And in all due respect, I'm not trying to dampen the enthusiasm for our program here in our community and with our fans and all that. But we haven't accomplished with things that we want to do, and we have to keep things in perspective. We appreciate the anticipation, the excitement, and it's resulted in some really good crowds and our season tickets and all that. But yet we have to understand as a group, 13 players, our staff, our support staff, that we have bigger things that we have to accomplish, and we haven't done that yet.
But you're working toward it.
Yes.
And that's what's amazing.
Yep.
And I've noticed the changes that you've made from this past season to this season, one of them being Dago Pena. Dago's sixth man last year. You brought him off the bench very early in the games. Now he's starting for you. What did you see different this past preseason that you thought, Dago does earn a spot to start?
Well, first and foremost, I guess, I'm a little different. I know the players and the younger people are really consumed with who starts the game.
Right.
I'm not. We don't practice with the starting five. We kind of mix our teams. So what our starting group is now and what it has been the first 5 games, it may not be that same way in a couple of weeks. With Dago, obviously, I think he got himself in great shape over the offseason. He stayed healthy. Last year, he started the first half of the beginning of the year, if you remember, and he had a shoulder injury over at James Madison that kind of sidelined him a little while. And then we settled into him coming off the bench, and that may end up being the case as well. But he brings a different dimension because he stretches the floor. He's a great shooter. He plays with emotion and energy, and he's obviously one of I think we've got 8 or 9 guys that warrant starters, and right now we've just stuck with the same starting 5 to start the season. It's not an area that I really get overly concerned about who starts the game. I think it's more important who finishes.
Absolutely, and like the overtime win at Cincinnati, you kept those 5 in there because you trusted those guys, and they produced exactly what you wanted. Pitts, another one. I mean, senior, you brought up, you have 3 seniors this year with Johnson, Pitts, and Pena. Pitts is playing unbelievable right now.
Yeah, what's ironic is, I was asked after the game up at Cincinnati in the press conference by their media, they wanted a reaction of my thoughts on Demir, and I was very candid and honest, as I usually am. I didn't think Demir played really well till midway through the second half. He had some uncharacteristic turnovers early, but I also said I wouldn't trade him for any other point guard in the country, and I think that much of him because he's got a big heart. He understands our system. Those 3 seniors are the face of our program, and I think along with DeAndre and Nigel, when we get them back, that's the core and foundation that we're building this thing off of.
Everybody says DeAndre has grown from the past season. You see that, right? You see how he's matured. I mean, I saw during the Cincinnati game, you were talking to him, just you and him. No one else was in the arena. Just you and him say, hey, don't worry about it. Cut, do this, do this. It was amazing, your interaction with him.
Yeah, I think he's grown leaps and bounds, both as a player and off the court. He's grown as a leader, his responsibility day in and day out. I'm really proud of him, and yet I still think he has unlimited potential to reach different heights as a player, as a leader. But I think we've made great strides. His maturity, he's channeling his emotions much better right now during the games, and I'm very proud of him at that in his growth in that regard. Obviously, I have higher expectations for him moving forward.
And that's the funny thing is that you have, we've talked about Pitts, Dago, Kane. You've got everyone else on the team we can talk about. I mean, Tenen, Goff. I mean, these guys are producing. Coleman. I mean, they're all producing for you. You have to be very confident and looking down the bench going, you know what? I can bring you in at any time, and you're going to change the game the way I want you to change the game.
Well, we have quality depth. I think it's been one of the things that we felt was one of our better attributes coming into the season was our depth. Maybe a big difference from last year where I thought maybe we might have dropped off or had less production when we went to our bench last year. We had good players on our bench.
Right.
I think this year we've got deeper, more options. It's a challenge because we got to juggle minutes, and all those kids want to play. They want to play more and have a bigger role, but they've all embraced it to this point. And but we've got quality depth, and I think we've got good options. And I think that's a testament to my staff and the great recruiting efforts they've had in our first year and a half, 2 years that we've been here.
Well, you're doing an unbelievable job, and I know you don't like to look down the road, but you do have a big game coming up here December 6th with Syracuse. How are you going to prepare the team to that? Coming off this big road win with Cincinnati, going to Syracuse, I mean, that's going to be a big-time game. You have their heads in the right spot now, you believe?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, when you play against Syracuse, the one thing you have to you don't have to do a whole lot of is you don't have to get your kids emotionally ready to play or charged to play in games like that. They're going to be amped up to play against a storied program in a storied building in the Carrier Dome. So from an emotional standpoint, it's more tactical, making sure they understand how we've got to attack the zone and different things offensively and defensively against, at that point, could be one of the top 1, 2, or 3 teams in America. They're tremendous. I think it's Coach Boeheim's one of his best teams in the modern era. They're deep and they're talented. But our kids will be ready for the challenge. Those are the games they're really excited about. But as we said, and I'm not trying to douse it because I know we're airing on Saturday, but my focus right now is on Ohio U.
Absolutely, absolutely. And he said something a few times, the emotion that his players have, but there's also the emotion that you have. We have video of you after the ECU game this past weekend when Doc Holliday and got his team eligible for a bowl competition. Let's take a look at this video. This is Coach Herrion congratulating Coach Holliday. That just speaks. I mean, look how much you just embrace him because you're so proud of him and proud of the program.
Well, I think it's great for the program. I think it's great for the university. Doc and I are very good friends. We connected instantly when we met when I got hired. We share a lot of time together, traveling in the off season, speaking and stuff. So I was really happy for him and his staff, his whole program, to fight and endure the schedule they had and the adversity they faced this season and get bowl eligible. I think it's great for him. I think it's great for our community and our fan base and our school in general. I think the excitement people have for basketball, football, and some of the other things that are going on reflects the same thing that our university has. It's growing.
Absolutely.
Dr. Kopp's done a tremendous job with our university moving it forward.
And I don't know if this is possible. I don't think it is, but the 22,000 that were there this past Saturday, is there any way we can get 22,000 in the Henderson Center? I know that seats 12.
Yeah,
12,000.
let's try.
Let's try that.
We cut a deal with the fire marshal and
let's try to get
and
them
try
in.
to squeeze them in. But our fans have been good. We need bigger crowds as we move forward.
Well, they are responding to your actions on the court. They love the players, the game itself. But it's you. No, it is. What was that game when DeAndre Kane, you told him, forget shooting outside, do not shoot beyond the arch, drive the ball. Yeah. And he did, and he got a hard foul called against him, going to the line for the extra point. You went ballistic. Yeah. You told everyone in that arena to stand up. That's what you bring to the game. That's what people want to see.
Well, I think, one thing I am is I'm emotional, I'm passionate about what I do. And I think our team plays that way. I think what we've tried to create for our fan base and our community is a product that reflects our community and our fan base. Marshall University and our basketball, it's a hard-working, blue-collar town. I want our kids to play that way. I think we've given our fans, we try to play the right way. We try to play unselfish. We try to play really, really hard. And with emotion. I think there's nothing wrong with that, and I think our fans are starting to learn to become a little bit more emotional. It's okay to get up off your seat and stand and cheer. And if someone in the crowd complains to you, that's okay. Just blame me.
Exactly. Well, he gets very animated when you point people out too, which is great. Stand up, get up. You got to get them up because the crowd. They motivate your team and they get them going, and they are seriously the sixth member of the team.
Jamie, there's no doubt about that, and I can't impress to our fans enough that the impact that they have on the emotional level of our guys it's noticeable, and it changes the game, and that's what the challenge I've been, not just to increase our pure numbers, and which increases the environment in the building, but the impact that it has on our players.
Well, real quickly, there's three things that stand out about Coach Herrion on the sidelines. The first was the exhibition game. You kind of stomped a little bit too hard and kind of injured your back. The other one was you had a little cut in the back of behind your ear. But the last one I want to bring up, you got taken down hard during the Northwest game, I think it was.
Yeah, I'm not sure which game it was. Yeah,
he wants to get out there and play as hard as your players do.
No, my playing days are over. I wasn't very good when I played, and I don't live on those memories at all. But I've had some incidents. I'm dying a slow death.
No, you're not. Not what we're seeing on the sideline. You are bringing a level of excitement back to the Henderson Center, and I love it. And I can't believe where we're sitting right now. I'm looking forward to the future.
Great.
Coach,
appreciate it, Jamie.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Coach Herrion, everyone, stay with us after the break. Our play's favorite band, Quiet, will perform. We'll be right back.